So love it or hate it, Starfleet Academy looks like it's cooked, man. I mean, this show's not doing well at all. And anybody who thinks it's going to get season 3, I think at this point is pretty delusional. And again, that's even if you like the show. You're allowed to like the show. A lot of people don't like the show. A lot of people don't care. A lot of people are not tuning in, as evidenced by the terrible ratings. And we're only a couple of episodes into the first season. There's a whole other season of this crap. It's already been filmed. It's already in the can. It's called One Episode Order Split into 2 Parts is what it's called. But let's talk about just how bad things are for Starfleet Academy. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. All right, this comes from Comic Book Resources, guys. Comic Book Resources. So this is not an alt-right rag or whatever the hell people try to hand wave, like, well, given this source, it's coming from Fox News, so you can't believe it. No, this is actually coming from Nielsen's. My mom used to work for Nielsen's back in the 90s. She used to work for Nielsen's, and that's back when they did the set-top boxes. She used to go around and get the data, and so it is a sampling, right, of the audience, but we have a pretty good indication of where things are at, and things are not good for this show. Star Trek Starfleet Academy misses Nielsen's top 10 for a second straight week. Can't imagine why people aren't watching Star Trek. I mean, God, I for sure thought there was a huge market among Star Trek fans for gay Klingons and dresses. It's like, seriously though. So what the hell? So again, this is coming from CBR, guys. Star Trek Starfleet Academy just got another dose of bad news. The newest Star Trek series on Paramount Plus didn't make the Nielsen's top 10 streaming originals list in its second week of eligibility, after also missing the chart covering the week of its debut episode. That's not an encouraging trend for the series. So the Nielsen's are several weeks behind. So what you're seeing now is the data for the second episode, right? And I imagine after the debut, it's probably going to continue to drop off. Now, they did have some Luminate numbers or whatever, and Luminate's like, it's doing pretty good for a new Star Trek show. That's not really saying much. It got its ass kicked by reruns of, I think it was Sabrina the Teenage Witch or something. It was getting its ass kicked by Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Nobody's watching this show. And the only people talking about this show are YouTubers who are dunking on this show. I mean, let's be real. This is basically the Star Trek equivalent of The Acolyte at this point, where normal people don't care about this show. And I love this narrative that's going around in the nerdosphere, that it's the YouTubers that are actually causing these shows to fail. It's like, bitch, nobody's watching the YouTubers bitching about it other than the people who give a shit. And there are very few of them. I mean, you can get 100,000 views on a YouTube video talking about Star Trek. It doesn't mean 100,000 people were going to go watch Star Trek, or they got talked out of watching Star Trek. The people that make up the majority of the audience for any of these shows, whether it's, Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever it is, they're normal people. They're not paying attention to YouTube. They're not going out there and looking up YouTube videos necessarily on whether or not the show is good or bad, right? They're not. They're just, they're tuning in. If it looks interesting, they'll watch it. If it doesn't, they won't, right? So there's really not much people like us can say or do that's going to change someone's mind. In fact, I think what happens is you get like the antis that are just like, we're gonna double down on it to show the chuds, and then it becomes a bigger shit show. This show was dead. The show was dead before they even aired the first episode. People had already made up their mind. They were not interested in it, right? And yeah, it's what they're doing right now, because of the Skydance Paramount merger, is they are flushing the stuff out of the system that was greenlit a few years ago. Now we're going to see this across the board in Hollywood. Paramount Skydance, they're going to reboot Star Trek. They're already talking about it. The Ellisons love Star Trek. And I am sure the version of Star Trek that we get via the Ellisons will probably be a little more conservative leaning given their political affiliations. But yeah, they were involved in the Star Trek movies, and they're canceling the Kelvin timeline. It's over, man. I mean, I guess the thing is, if you're going to do Star Trek, just kind of go back to what worked. But I get, people are like, well, Star Trek's always been progressive. I know, but it hasn't been obnoxious as fuck. I swear to God, the newer series, they're going out of their way to antagonize people. It's not challenge people. Let's be honest, it's antagonize people. Then we got half the freaking cast of Voyager, which, guys, if you're listening, literally, I know it's inferiority complex because you were the worst of the 90s Star Trek shows, but whatever. But they're out there antagonizing people constantly. Robert Picardo, Tim Russ, and Kate Mulgrew. She got into it. Janeway got into it because people were going after Holly Hunter after her character. It's like, jeez. Oh my God. Yeah, I didn't like Voyager very much. I really didn't. Yeah, a couple of good episodes here and there, but it was sorely lacking compared to Deep Space Nine and Next Gen, in my opinion. Anyway, this one is yeah. Again, Star Trek Starfleet Academy faced some tough competition from streaming giants like Stranger Things, Landman, and The Pit. No, it was never going to perform. Other shows in the top 10 originals list included 11/22/63, a 10-year-old Stephen King show that garnered renewed interest when it made its Netflix debut. I've never even heard of that show. Is that the one everybody was talking about? They're like, this 10-year-old show's coming back. Star Trek has had inconsistent chart performance throughout its streaming era. Star Trek Strange New Worlds may have been an instant success story, but its predecessor Discovery took a while to build an audience large enough to land on the chart. That says a lot because Discovery was what they were kind of pinning the future of Star Trek on, wasn't it? And that should have been a pretty good indication that people weren't into this version of Star Trek. I will be honest, to this day, I have never watched a single episode of Discovery. I have less than zero interest in it. Actually, what it did for me is the Klingons. I saw a picture of the Klingons. I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm like, they don't even look like Klingons. I'm like, yeah, I'm out. Star Trek Starfleet Academy has also been absent from Paramount Plus's top 10 chart. So that is even more telling. Okay. So we're not talking, okay, you can maybe forgive, or hand wave that it couldn't compete against Stranger Things or whatever, right? But it didn't even make the Paramount Plus top 10 chart. And there's not a lot to compete with except, Sabrina the Teenage Witch reruns or whatever that was kicking its ass. Interest in the series did spike around new episodes for a time, but that's been less and less the case. Star Trek Starfleet Academy has already been renewed for a second season. No, they filmed the episode. My understanding is it was one episode order back to back, right? And they're flushing it. That's my understanding. Unless Paramount Skydance suddenly needs a drastic tax write-off, there will be more Starfleet Academy on Paramount Plus. Well, yeah, it's already in the can. Well, you know what, though? Stranger things have happened, no pun intended. I mean, look, Disney flushed Willow completely. They burnt it. And Paramount has done this before. They got rid of, what was it, the Grease prequel? I think they got rid of that completely. I mean, look, they're trying to scrimp and save. They want to buy Warner Brothers. It's possible. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. They could just take a look at the numbers and be like, yeah, this thing is worth more to us dead than alive. Let's just burn it down, take the tax write-off and call it a day because we're canceling this timeline anyway. The longer Starfleet Academy remains absent from the Nielsen chart, the more questionable its chances of a season 3 renewal become. I would say 0 at this point. I would be very, very, very surprised. Very surprised if they greenlit it for a third season. In addition to the ratings not being as strong as one might expect, Star Trek Starfleet Academy has divided critics and audiences. It's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, because, you're not allowed to criticize this show or you hate gay people. You hate gay Klingons who live in polyamorous polycules or some shit. I mean, come on. Klingon warriors. There we go, guys. But it's only got 42% from regular people. And the regular people are the ones that count. Let's be honest. CBR's reviewer wrote positively about Starfleet Academy. But they said because the ownership change at Paramount and the possible end of Kurtzman's tenure at the larger Star Trek helm, this new Star Trek series may already be dead. Yes, 100%. It's done. I love this. This is, Joshua Patton. Oh my gosh, guys. What a hater, Joshua. No, this guy, no, he's always taking the contrary position. He does not like the YouTubers very much. I think he secretly wishes he was one, but he doesn't like them very much. Yeah, so this was back in July. I'm worried Star Trek's new show may already be dead despite a 2-season order. Yeah, it is. The second season is currently in production, but its future beyond that is uncertain. But they're like, it can come back, guys. No, very few people I've talked to about the show that were fans of the original series or Next Generation or whatever, the 90s Star Trek, they all fucking hate it, right? I haven't met anybody who really genuinely loves this show. I know of a couple people on YouTube who I think are just taking a contrary position, who are saying they love this show just to say they love it because it irritates people. But I think it's for the modern audience, and there's not enough of them, right? It's just, yeah, it's just not gonna happen, right? So there we go, guys. This is looking pretty bad. But that's to be expected. Did anybody actually think this thing was going to be successful? Like, I don't think anybody did. I really don't. They just dumped it on Paramount because it was already done. I think if they could undo it tomorrow, again, knowing the Ellisons, they could undo it tomorrow and get their money back and put that money toward buying Warner Brothers, they would do it in a heartbeat. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.